Maya had always been the quiet one. The girl who sat in the back, took neat notes, and avoided drama like it was contagious. She transferred to Eastwood High just 2 months ago after her father's job forced them to relocate. She wasn't shy, just careful. She had learned over time that people rarely understood silence. They either tried to fix it or destroy it. Her first weeks at school were uneventful, until the whispers started. A group of popular kids noticed her quiet demeanor and lack of friends. To them, Maya wasn't just different, she was a target. The ones who bullied others didn't need a reason. They needed an opportunity. Maya's silence became one. They started with mockery. Snide comments about her clothes, her hair, her books. When she didn't react, they escalated. They threw notes at her during class, tripped her in the hallway, knocked her books out of her hands. The teachers often didn't notice, or worse, chose not to. Maya's mother noticed something was wrong when she came home one evening and didn't touch her dinner. She stared at her plate, her mind somewhere else. But when asked, she simply smiled and said she was tired. She wasn't ready to share the hurt. Not yet. One rainy Monday, everything reached its breaking point. The science teacher, Mr. Hale, had stepped out of the classroom to take a call. The room buzzed with the usual chatter and background noise. Maya was sitting at her desk, sketching quietly in her notebook when she felt it, fingers tugging on the collar of her shirt. Before she could react, the fabric ripped. Laughter erupted. The front of her shirt gaped open, and Maya froze in horror. Her arms immediately crossed over her chest, trying to cover herself as her face flushed a deep, painful red. She couldn't even move. She could only hear the sound of laughter, the clapping, the humiliating cackles of her classmates. Her throat tightened. The boy who did it, Tyler, was grinning like he had just won a prize. Oops, he laughed. Didn't know it was that fragile. Someone else whistled. Another person recorded with their phone. But Maya didn't cry. She didn't run. Something inside her had finally cracked. She slowly stood up, clutching the torn shirt with one hand. The laughter started to quiet. Something about her expression made the room shift. She walked steadily to the front of the class, her face unreadable. She stared at Mr. Hale's heavy wooden desk. The same desk she'd passed every day. Then, with one swift, explosive motion, she kicked it. The desk slammed into the wall behind it with a deafening crash. Papers flew. A globe fell and rolled. A few students screamed. The entire room fell dead silent. Maya turned around. "If anyone touches me again," she said, her voice firm but calm, "I won't stop at the desk." Nobody laughed. When Mr. Hale returned moments later, he stopped at the door, stunned by the chaos in the room. He asked what happened. No one answered. Even Tyler stared at the ground, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Maya didn't speak either. She just walked up to Mr. Hale and said, "May I go to the nurse?" He nodded, and she walked out without looking back. That day changed everything. The video someone had recorded of her kicking the desk went viral, not because it showed violence, but because it showed power. Controlled, fearless power. The quiet girl no one noticed was now someone everyone respected, or feared. Some students approached her in the following days, offering apologies, awkward smiles, and even friendship. She didn't forgive everyone, but she didn't stay angry either. Her voice became her own again, not loud, but present. The school administration called her parents in, but not to punish her. In fact, they began an investigation into the bullying culture. Tyler was suspended. Teachers were warned to pay closer attention. Maya was offered counseling, but she turned it down. She'd found a better form of healing. She joined a local martial arts class. It wasn't about fighting. It was about control. About reclaiming what was taken from her. Every punch, every stance, every breath taught her not just how to defend herself, but how to stand tall. By the end of the school year, Maya wasn't invisible anymore. She was still quiet, still kind, still thoughtful, but now she was strong, and everyone knew it. Other quiet kids began sitting near her at lunch. Girls who had once been laughed at started walking beside her in the halls. And Maya. She smiled more now. Not because everything was perfect, but because she finally believed she didn't have to suffer in silence. Moral of the story. Even the quietest voice can shake the loudest room when it finds the courage to speak. Strength isn't always loud, but when it shows up, it can change everything.